Welcome, readers. Today is Friday, October 30th, 2020, and this is Ms. Phillips bringing you your reading workshop lesson for today. Before we get started, let's look over the materials that we're going to need for this lesson. You will need your pencil, your reading journal, and a copy of the text we're going over today. The Tigers Roar Back article is going to be shown here on your screen and also be available for you linked in the framework in a Google Classroom. You will also be working on an article later for your assignments, which will be linked as well. Go ahead and take the time to pause the video and collect these supplies if you need to. All right, now that you've collected your supplies, let's go over the objectives for today. I will review how to synthesize. We will practice our synthesizing strategy, and then you will use the synthesizing strategy to find the gist of a text. Okay. Readers, we practice synthesizing with our article about masks. You watch me and practice synthesizing on your own to recognize the gist of the article. Let's look back at our anchor chart. You can reference yours that you added to as well. Think about how we synthesize information. So first I read the article section by section, and I came up with the big ideas list. This list has all the important information, but none of the extra fluff that is just small details. After I created my big ideas list, I used it to help me fill my anchor chart. I wrote down the gist of the article using the important big ideas for my list. And then I wrote down my thinking when I read the different sections of text. I wrote down that the gist of the first couple of paragraphs of the article from yesterday were that the Baron Ket, a fierce-looking creature of the Indonesian theater, represents goodness and hard work. For about 15,000 years, masks have been used for many different reasons. I also had some thinking that I wrote down. I was really surprised that this frightening creature stands for goodness. And I also wondered, ancient cultures don masks more than modern cultures. Why? Readers, I want to show you again how to pare down information and come up with the bigger picture or gist of the text you're reading. Today we will be reading the article titled Tigers Roar Back. Listen and follow along as I read the first two paragraphs. 100,000 tigers roamed Asia in 1900. By 1994, that number had dropped to 7,000. Experts warned that the big cats would be extinct by 2000. The world took the warning seriously. Working to save the cats has become a way of life in many Asian countries. Last month, tiger experts gathered in Washington, D.C. to hear a new report from the Save the Tiger Fund. The good news, tiger populations have stopped shrinking. Okay. I created a big ideas list from what I read. Remember, we only want to use the most important information and none of the small details. Well, the first sentence seems to be very important because it describes how many tigers there used to be and also where they were located. So I'm going to put Asia and tigers. It also states that in the year 1900, there were 100,000 tigers. So I'm going to write down that piece of information because I feel like it's super important. The article then states that in 1994, the numbers were down to 7,000. I'm going to write 1994, only 7,000. That way I can remember that that was important detail for later. I'm also going to look at the part where experts warned that by 2000, the year 2000, the tigers would be extinct. I'm going to write down extinct soon on my big ideas list. For the second paragraph, I'm going to write work to save cats. This was the biggest information from the second paragraph. Yes, there was more information, but most was just added as small details. I'm also going to write down that the population stopped shrinking. Now that I have my big ideas list and have pared down the information from these two paragraphs that I read, I want to fill in my anchor chart. I need to find the gist of these two paragraphs. I want to write something for the gist that encompasses or covers all of the main parts of the text that we read. To do this, I need to use my big ideas list. I'm thinking that since tigers, Asia, and the number of populations are written with the years, I might construct a gist that sounds like this. In the 1900, there were 100,000 tigers in Asia, but those numbers were only 7,000 by 1994. People have worked to save the big cats, and the populations have stopped shrinking. How does that sound? Do you see how I might use my big ideas list to help me find the gist? The gist is just a shortened sentence or main idea of those important details in the text, important ideas in the text. I took two bigger paragraphs and I created two sentences that was the gist. Now, since I read this, I'm thinking, I know that tigers are being saved, but I want to know how. So I'm going to write that in my thinking side of my anchor chart. Now I want you to help me synthesize information on the map after reading the article. Take some time now to pause the video and finish reading the article, and then look over the map in the article and help me find the gist of the map. Use the strategy to find out what the gist is. Remember to make your big ideas list first and then find the gist and write it down. When you're finished, come back and press play. Go now. Okay, readers, you all should have an idea of what the gist may be on the map. Let's see if you got it's close or similar to the gist that I have found. The gist of the map is to show the 5 species of tigers and how they're spread across the continent of Asia in varying numbers. Were you close? Did you get it right? What would you need to change about your gist to make it the same as mine? Maybe remove some information or maybe add some? That's okay. Today, you will get to practice on your own with the article Saving Their Native Language. The article will be here for you to pause and view and also be linked in the framework today for you to access. You will need to read the article and jot down your thoughts using the strategy we have discussed yesterday and today. Remember to create your big ideas list first, then create a chart with the gist in your thinking about the article. Take a readable picture of your chart and turn it into your teacher how you've been instructed. Thank you for joining me today and have a great day.